Hi everyone. Do you ever feel trapped by endless PDF files, messy Word documents, or scattered Google Docs and wish you could magically transform them into organized, actionable data in Excel? Well, today you're about to discover exactly how to do that with the power of AI. In the next few minutes, we're going to build live a system that will take all the files you have in Microsoft Word or Google Docs and will transform your data into Excel spreadsheets so you can analyze it. Imagine you've got hundreds or even thousands of Word documents with client offers, agreements, patient stories, client cards, you name it. And one day you want to make a quick analysis of it. But transforming to a database is quite time-consuming task given the scale. So here we come with a quick and easy automation so that we can help you out. As a bonus, I will show you at the end how you can use GPT in Excel to adjust your data that you just received in the analysis simply with natural language without any fluff, so stay tuned until the end. This automation saves you countless hours and really boosts your productivity. Let's jump right in. So in order to transform Google Docs to Microsoft Excel, we're going to be using a third-party service called Make.com. Make.com allows you to easily integrate with third-party apps through API calls and basically get any information you want and pass the information forward. Well, the coolest part about it, you don't need to have a coding background to actually understand how that works. And I'll show you how we can technically make it even without knowing what is the API structure, what is the JSON schema, and all that stuff. So what we start with, first of all, is we need to access the Google Drive folder where the files are located. So for this one, here is an inbuilt module called Google Drive, or we can go and find a Google Drive like this. We go to that module, and here we'll need to search for different files because we'll be accessing a single folder. So once we go in, first of all, what we need to do, we need to connect to the Google Drive. And in order to do that, we need to basically sign in with a Google account. If you do it for the first time, you just select your email, you sign in. And this is the coolest part of Make.com, that you don't really need to connect through the API. You can have those low code and easy native connections that you will simply just sign in with your account and you will get all the structure connected right here. All right, so once you're in and you've connected your account, you can select from the list basically the folder you're looking to use. So in my case, I'm going to be using different offers, and I have 9 different offers, and I've been sending these offers to my clients in Word or PDF format. And here we have it. Here we have the description. And what I want to do is basically I want to take all the offers that I've sent to my clients and basically extract the price, what was the average term that I was giving to clients, and what was the average service that was providing. And this might be needed for the analysis later on to kind of to charge your clients and basically understand what are the average rates you're charging per service, what is the average delivery term, and what is basically clients are requesting from you. And going through each of the files and outputting the data in Excel will take a lot of time, and I'm not gonna do this. So we're gonna automate the whole thing, and let's see how that actually works. So for this one, we go here and we find the offer here, which is lead to offer folder that has all the files stored right here. Then when we need to retrieve, we're looking to retrieve the different files, and basically here we can select by what kind of query we're going to be searching the files. And here I'm going to search the files with a certain name, and we can select either to select exact file with the exact name or select the file that contains part of the name, a part of the query. And for our files, I have the same basically simple structure here. I have the date when the offer was created, the name of the client, and basically the service that was offered to a client. Well, I have another file, the client file here in the folder, which already has some sort of the information of the client, but that's not the information from the offers itself. This is in the information from the client form submitted through a website before. So I don't actually need this Excel file. And that's why I will be really looking only for the Word document files. And for the query, we're going to use the name that appears in all the files that we need to analyze. And in my case, the date when the file was created depicts the year 2025. That's basically the same in all the files. So I'm going to use this as a query, because otherwise, if I'm going to just export all the files that are inside this folder, I'll also get an Excel file, and I don't need an Excel file for this purpose. All right, so once we run this, we can actually find that we get 10 different bundles. Actually less, we get 9, because we don't get the Excel file. Actually 8. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 different files. We get 8 different files with the different names. Okay, so once we have those files, we want to use another module, which is going to be Google Docs module, and we need to get a content of a document. So in order to get a content of a document, we basically need to map this to the previous node with the file ID. So instead of us going and by drop down selecting each and every file, we ought to automate this thing, and that's why in this case we're gonna map exactly the file ID we're looking to extract. So that's this file ID, and we just click save and click save for the scenario, and let's actually test that. So basically here, what should really happen, we should extract the contents of the file in this module. So let's see, here we get 9 different bundles, and those bundles are actually passing to our Google Docs module, and after each operation as a text content, I should get the offer, because once I get this offer, I can pass this offer to our AI assistant to actually analyze it. Okay, and this is what we're going to do in the next node. So now we have the new flow, another company, whatever the company is. Basically we got 2 offers, and if I would continue like this, we would probably get 9 different bundles right here. We only had 3 operations started. So next module is going to be passing that information to ChatGPT, so that ChatGPT can actually read the whole offer for us and extract the needed information. And the needed information in my case is going to be the price, is going to be the deadline, is going to be the service we're offering, and what is the name of a client. Okay, so for this particular purpose, I will need to create the completion, and here we can select different models. So some of the best models that we have right now that I suggest using is 4.1 mini. This is one of the cheapest and one of the strongest models on the market. That's the new series. Okay, and now we need to write a specific prompt. So first of all, I'm gonna go with the developer prompt, and as a developer prompt, I'm gonna say you are an information extractor from corporation offers. You must extract the following information from the client offers, and we go with price, name of the client, name of the service, and deadline term. You will be provided with the corporation offer below. Okay, you need to output the information in the JSON structure as follows. And this is very important, because once we tell the ChatGPT to provide the information at the JSON structure, it will output the exact variables we will be using to put those variables into our Excel file. Otherwise, it will be harder to actually achieve what we want to achieve. Okay, so we need to name those variables for the ChatGPT, and then we go with price. Let me go with price. Sorry, I can't type. Then we go with price, and then we go with the second one, which is going to be deadline. So then we go with the next one, which is going to be services. Let's do service actually. And then we have another one, which is name of the client name. Let's go with client name. Okay, and then we're just gonna close the JSON file for us. Okay, so now it has pretty much good information, but in order for our ChatGPT to be more precise, the important thing is click show advanced settings, and we need it to output the information in the JSON object, because this will allow us to actually retrieve the variables that we can use later on. Otherwise, we're just going to receive bulk text that we don't need. Okay, of course we should say parse JSON for this one, just in case I have like bigger offers somewhere. I will put 5,000 tokens as for the completion, and for the temperature I would usually use something like 0.5 in our case. But this is not enough. I want to actually provide more details to my ChatGPT, and that's why I will provide more examples here. I will go as a user, and I will say, okay, this is one of the offers that a user is going to provide. And let's say the user will also provide, and user is basically our agent that we are building right now that's going to be passing the information to AI. And I will be passing the name of the file on the top, and I will be passing the details, basically the contents of the file. Okay. And here as another message, what I want to show how assistant's supposed to respond to this user message. And as I mentioned before, we are expecting the assistant to provide just the JSON structure. Okay, so in my case, so for the price out of this offer, I should say this is 1700 plus VAT 21%. The deadline is 4 weeks. The service that is being offered is, let me see, the detailed budget. So financial budget, and the client name we're looking to offer this is a mass advisory. Okay, so this is the information that we are expecting our AI assistant is going to provide us after we pass the information. Okay, so that's kind of a decent example for our AI to actually learn from. And then what we're left with is basically saying, okay, what kind of information you want to pass? And basically what I will be passing the title, and I will be passing the text content of the file itself. Okay, so once I hit OK, ChatGPT is going to generate me a JSON object with the variables that we have pre-created for him: price, deadline, client name, and the service that we are offering. Okay, and it's gonna output that information, but where? And that's why we need an Excel file where we're gonna place this information. That's why we can go to Excel, and let's say we go with client name, we go with whatever service, price, and deadline. Okay, so let me actually zoom in a little bit. So client name, service, and deadline, and let's actually save this file in our SharePoint. Offer data. Okay, all right, so now I should find another module which is going to be Microsoft Excel. So let me go with Excel, Microsoft 365 Excel. And basically what we are looking here to add, we are looking to add a worksheet row. And this is just because I will create a database of all those files. Okay, now I can select this from my list just because I have just a single file here which I'm going to use to output all the data. So let me find where the file is actually located real quick. Here we have offer data. That's the file we are looking that we just created. Okay, we have just a single sheet in this file, and now we will get all the information of all the different fields that we have in this file. Type of the values being entered, we're looking to enter just a single values. We're not looking to enter the formulas. And here we need to dynamically link the output from our ChatGPT. Well, as for now, we have it as a result. We don't have any variables created it, and that's why before we actually link that information here into Excel, we need to run at least once our automation. Make sure you save it and run it once. Let's actually see what we get. Okay, so we got at least one entry, so let's force to stop it and let's see what kind of information we actually got. So here we got the results, and we have 4 different variables. We got a price, we got a deadline, we got a service, we got a client name. Amazing. This is basically all we need to link this into our Excel file. Let's actually take a look how that works. Now we can dynamically pre-select these things. So let me actually do that. We get a client name, we get a service, we get a price, and we get a deadline. So now we've done this here for one client, but we are actually having 8 different clients, 8 different offers. And I'm really making this example of, 8 clients just to show you guys, but think about having hundreds or even thousands of different files. For your business, you may pretty much have much more documents that I'm showing here. So this will be very, very important. So, and let me actually show you how that works. So let's save it again and let's run the whole scenario for us. And now after this scenario finishes, we should be able to get an Excel file which has all the clients in it with the price name, deadline, service, and the client name. Let's actually wait a couple minutes and then see what we get. All right, so the scenario has been finished. Let's actually open an Excel file and see what we got. We have exactly 8 clients that were saved in our Google Drive. We have the service that we were offering, budgeting, budget planošana, and budget development. This is actually in Latvian because one of the offers was actually in Latvian. Cash flow forecasting, budgeting. We've got different prices. And what is interesting here, we got 1700 plus VAT, 21%. Here it's, for example, in Latvian, and that might be actually a problem because if we have it in different prices, we might actually not get what we want. And here again, we get the deadline 4 weeks, and here apparently it just wrote that we got 4 weeks from the date of contract signing. Of course, you can go and just manually rewrite this, say, okay, this is will be 1700 and this is going to be 2000, etc., and then to calculate average. But if you have hundreds or thousands of clients, that would be quite difficult. So for this particular reason, and just because we have also different formats here, it's with the comma, here without, we can have GPT for Excel Word that will actually help us handle this stuff. So for GPT Excel Word, I suggest you go to add-ins and you go to more add-ins, and then you go GPT for Excel, and you click search, and basically the first one, once you add it, you will have a free trial that you can use and try it on. Once you have it, it's going to be installed in your Excel basically, and you will have some free credits allowed here, and you can pre-select model through the API if you want it. I have another video of how to install that and how to use that, so you can watch it somewhere here. But just to show you why this is cool that you have it here, because you have another formula which is GPT, and here with natural language you can basically say what we are expecting to receive from a single query. So I can say output just a single number, price, ignore VAT, for example. Okay, so, and I put this as a value and just drag this formula down. And what I'm trying to accomplish here, instead of rewriting it manually and adjusting for this thing, I'm just getting the ChatGPT prompt to get what we want. And instead of this one, I can also go and say I want this as a value so that I can later on use this in my calculations, right? And once I've done this, make sure you copy paste this as values, and basically now you can go and calculate what is the total and what is the average, for example, for this case. And you know, it's just much easier and just much faster to use the formula. Same goes here, right? So we got 4 weeks and 4 četras nedēļas, which is in Latvian, right? Or for example, this one I want to correct, so it's just 4 weeks. I can use another GPT saying leave the number of weeks only as a number, ignore everything else. Okay, so again, same thing here. I'll get just number 4 ideally. So I got 4 weeks, and again I can go with the value so that I can read it as a number, and then I can use this number in my calculation somewhere else. Again, it was the same for all, so that's not very difficult, but that's pretty cool. So instead of us going and thinking about what kind of formulas you can use, and here it's pretty simple formula because, you know, 4 weeks is basically all on the left hand side, so we can just use formula left. And same goes to the languages. For example, if I see that this offer was in Latvian and I want everything in English, there is another formula called GPT Translate, actually. And for GPT Translate, you just select the text you want to translate, and you would just go, what is the target language? The target language is English, and it's going to translate this for you straight away, and you can use it. You don't need to switch between, you know, Google Translate or anything else. It's pretty straightforward and easy, so pretty nice to have it and use it just right in the Excel file. So again, here you have it. You can have PDF files, you can have Word files, as many as you wish, but if you want to analyze it, you can easily transform this data and turn this data into Excel so that you can work with the key data from these files. And there you have it. You've just unlocked the power how to convert any document chaos into beautifully structured data instantly with AI. Imagine the possibilities now at your fingertips: more accuracy, better insights, and way less stress. If you found this video valuable and want even more productivity secrets like this, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe, and ring the bell icon so you don't miss the future hacks. Well, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.